Welcome back to Limbus Company, Canto 5. Last time, Dante makes a pretty careless decision to take a look at a cruise ship in an unknown lake, which results in nothing actually bad happening, but it very well could have. And this time, we're finally at the Lobotomy Corp branch, or just about. Time to see what's going to happen next. The elusive Lobotomy Corp branch of U Corp finally appeared from beyond the Veiled List, but it was completely covered under a layer of bizarre white membrane. I think we're on the correct path, at least. The Calamity. What is this going to be? Something to do with the 5 calamities of the 5 calamities, perhaps? We know the whale is one of the 5 calamities, assumably. There it is. Our destination, the Lobotomy Corp branch of U Corp. You think they're still there? The survivors pilot mentioned? Unless aught has transpired since then, we still have time aplenty. As Thinker and Yisung shared their thoughts, the large structure loomed ever closer, out of the mist and into our line of sight. Ooh, that is a very interesting looking structure. It's covered in veins. That's definitely not supposed to happen. Seems like potentially there's a whale has absorbed the branch in some way, potentially. There's no way like this stuff is normal, and you know, we can see the looming figure in the background. Also very reminiscent of, say, like a oil rig. At least in my opinion. I assume that's what they're going for with this. Which makes a lot of sense, you know, energy, stuff like that. Oh, creepy. Every sinner, save for Ryoshu, froze. That's the Lobotomy Corp branch?
좌표 범위에서 한없이 중앙에 가까울 뿐더러 전달받은 정보와 크기감이 일치하는 것을 보아서는 그렇습니다.
You're close as is physically possible to be the center of the area delineated by the coordinates. The structure, size, and appearance match the intel we received as well. The sight was enough to shut everyone up. Even Ishmael is freaked out by it. For something we don't know, does she recognize this place? Did she witness this when she was in the actual lake? The hope that there may be any survivors in this structure was far too optimistic a notion for what appeared before us. I observed the Lobotomy Corp logo between the white materials. Yeah, like that very sleek white appearance also is very similar to what we know of N Corp so far. Very worrying. So that's really... Only the smeared logo of the Lobotomy Corp branch glistened amidst mountains of pallid, blasphemous white. This was the undeniable reality we found ourselves in. What the hell happened here? Pilot said the last thing the Twin Hooks pirates said before leaving this place was... The calamity is coming, wasn't it? This sight summons to my mind memories from the earlier days of this company. The manner in which the organic tissues are plastered over the walls is quite reminiscent of that experience. Ugh, back in the D Corp branch, right? I hope there's no poison gas trap or anything like that in here. At D Corp there is a trade in our midst, thus it would be false equivalency to use that experience to gauge the intensity of this mission. Alright, Mirso, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I don't think it'll be much better here, if not worse. Then, Pilot's team is already... We should consider them lucky if they haven't been turned into mermaids. So the calamity that Pilot mentioned didn't destroy the Lobotomy Corp branch. It transformed this place into something uncanny. Something so grotesque that total obliteration would have been preferable to whatever happened here. Yep, it's been entirely amassed by the calamity. Well, destruction isn't the only kind of calamity in this world. Yeah, you're all too familiar with calamity. Although you're pretty familiar with destruction too, given your orphanage. Uh, feels a little mean, but true.
이 대호수에서는 5가지 재앙이 존재한다.
The Great Lake is home to 5 calamities.
이제는
Well,
내기려나.
4 now, I suppose. Oh? One has been dealt with?
무슨 뜻이야?
Whatever do you mean?
뜻은
I meant that.
잘 알게 될 거다.
You'll find out soon enough.
재앙은 아무리 조심하고 피하려 해도 찾아오는 법이에요. 그것들은 규칙대로 움직이지 않아도 되는 힘을 가져서
It won't matter how careful you are, and the Great Lake, the calamities will always find you. The laws of the Great Lake don't apply to them, making it impossible to predict their patterns.
지금은 그 재앙이 남기고 간 지옥 속으로
And now's the time to row your way into the ruins the calamity left behind.
로보톰이 지부는 바로
Yeah, that's what it's called, yeah.
배를 타고 가도록.
I knew it had a name. That's it, yeah, like the small boat ships have to like row to island and stuff. Take the skiff to the Lobotomy Corps branch. It's on the lake adjacent to this one.
만일의 상황을 대비해 나는 이 호수에서 거리를
I'll be keeping my distance and watching from this lake, just in case of an emergency. Really makes you wonder, what could have taken out a calamity? If there are these 5 horrifying creatures, what does he mean only 4? I've got no idea. That is very concerning. Isn't that exactly why you should be coming with us? Who knows what the guidebud's thinking, eh? After a quick tinkering from Faust, the skiff tied to the sides of Mephistopheles began its slow descent. It's the same skiff we used to get to the cruise ship. Makes sense. We're getting a lot of use out of this boat. The skies are a bright white here. Sure, you could perceive this as a light blue, but I think it's supposed to be pure white, similar to that of the actual branch itself. I still don't trust this dinghy. It's too small. Small engine on the skiff revved gently, and our short, sputtering journey to the Lobotomy Corps branch began. Our lake's usually this foggy. The lake earlier was pretty misty, too.
주의하는 것이 좋겠소. 안개 속에서 갑작스레 나타나는 것은 모험의 기본 공식이니.
We must remain vigilant. Fogged up horizons are climate quite right for an ambush. Pursuit is the #1 rule of adventuring tales. There was a growing sense of trepidation among the sinners. Yeah, as it should be. This is very unnerving. It's very fleshy, very white, it's veiny, yeah. As we climbed the pale membrane-enveloped stairs leading up to the Lobotomy Corps branch. When it mentioned, it being surrounded by, like, a pale membrane, I didn't expect it like this. I assumed it meant, like, abandoned Lobotomy Corps drilling ship. That's interesting. So that, yeah, similar to an oil rig. Drilling, what could they be drilling for, though?
어때, 단테? 황금가지 느껴져?
Dante, can you sense it? The golden bow? Not yet.
확실해?
You sure about that? Roja was visibly disappointed. Maybe she was half hoping that I'd tell her the golden bow wasn't here, so that we should turn around and head right back to Mephistopheles.
이런데 올 때마다 내가 유난 떠는 것 같긴 하지만 이번엔
I know I'm the worried part of the team whenever we check out places like this, but I have a real bad feeling about this, guys. The closer we got to the entrance, the more reluctant the sinners' gates became, as though they were growing increasingly wary that some unseen enemy could ambush them at any second.
뭐 하자는 거죠? 안 갈 건가요?
What's the holdup? Aren't you coming?
너는 아무렇지 않은 거야? 우리가 느끼는 이 감각.
Don't you feel it? This dread, I thought it would affect you the most. You're the one who spent years on the lake, after all.
그래서 안 갈 건가요?
So? That's what's stopping you? It's...
안 갈 사람은 여기에서 기다리던가요.
Wait by the entrance if you're not going.
한참 전부터 저 자식은 말이 안 통했었는데 뭘 기대한 거야?
What did you expect, mate? I've given up talking senzu into her a while ago.
좀 협조적으로 바뀐 것 같아서 착각이.
I thought she'd gotten a bit more cooperative as of late. Guess I was wrong.
하긴 가야지.
Well, we do have to go. Ishmael appeared to be the only sinner uninterested in the golden bow. The golden bow, the unfathomable, bone-chilling horrors of the lake. I was starting to believe that she considered all of that nothing but obstacles between her and her mission.
건물 전체를 덮고 있는 이 흰색
Ooh.
점막 같은 건 무엇이오?
That's not good. It's not quite as, like, covering on the interior, it seems. That's a really bad sign, though. The LCCB uniform over there, potentially a corpse. God. There is one other creature we saw in the trailer for Canto 5 that we haven't seen yet in the Canto. That being, like, there was this weird, like, white creature that kind of, like, looked like it was, like, attacking in, like, a swimming motion. And it looked like it was standing on water. And it looked like Ishmael was standing on water in that image, on, like, a white water. But it seems like that may be somewhere inside of here. What might be this pale mucus membrane covering the entirety of this structure?
곰팡이
Some
같은
kind of
걸까요?
mold, maybe?
알, 뭐
IF.
균류라고 하기에는 다른 특징들을 지녀야 할
It's fungi, alright. If identified as fungi, would have required to exhibit characteristics unlike the ones we can observe here.
내가 봐도 균류의 형태로는 보이지 않아.
I agree. They don't appear to be fungi. In fact,
살아있는 생체 조직으로 보이는군. 혈관이
they appear to be
반짝이는
made of
성분
organic,
같은
living flesh tissue. See the blood vessels here. They've grown into random shapes without purpose or intent.
어이가 없군. 이렇게 못들이 많나.
Ridiculous. I am surrounded by ignorant fools.
무슨 의미지?
What do you mean?
혼돈에서 피어난 작품에 패턴이 있을 거라고 보나.
Art reliant on the chaos of existence cannot create patterns such as these.
전체를 바라 멍청이.
Look at the big picture, fool.
전체를 생각한다면 이렇게 필요치 않은 담론으로 힘만 빼는 것이 더 불필요해.
Gazing upon the big picture, I see only a pointless disputation that does not but wastes our vigor.
그대들도 멈출 생각은 아니지 않은가?
You do not intend to stall, no. See thither. Ishmael already walks at a fair distance away from us. Yep, she just keeps on walking. Oh yeah, we can see like I didn't even notice. I saw the body. There's a leg and an arm there. Another leg, another arm. And there's a hook. Yeah. That's probably because of the pirate. The pirates probably like trapped them here and then proceeded to like run away to avoid the calamity, but left like these guys behind, so like they were doomed. Okay. We continue on though. We're moving to the actual branch itself. The Whaler. Oh boy. That's an interesting name for a part. That's for sure. So, you know, Whaler is, you know, someone who, you know, hunts whales. The bizarreness continued deep into the Bodycorp branch. That white cloud memory was covering every inch of its interiors, and we found that those that were shambling around wrapped under that very same membrane. Yeah, this is a fight. Okay, this is probably going to be against, like, the mermaids created by the whatever calamity hit this place. Was it the white whale? Was it Moby Dick? I mean, it is a white substance, so could be. Don Quixote had stopped dead in her tracks. She was looking blankly at a section of the wall. That one, yeah. See anything interesting, kiddo? Here, in the wall. Huh?
사람이 들어있어.
There is a person in this wall.
모형 아니야?
Maybe it's a sculpture?
모형이 이렇게나 생동감을 가질 수 있다면 내가 무릎을 꿇고 제자로 드리라고 하겠어.
If there is anyone capable of sculpting something so true to life as this, I'll drop everything and plead the artist to take me in as their student. Alright. Thank you, Ryoshu. No! Are they the people Pilot was looking for?
이보시오, 괜찮은 것인가?
Heed my words! God, yeah, it looks like they've been, like, dismembered. Yeah, there's no way this limb attaches to probably this arm. Yeah, definitely been dismembered in this strange substance.
말을 왜 거는 거야?
Why the heck would you talk to it?
이것 보시오, 이자 살아있어.
Behold, this man is alive!
진짜 나 이렇게 소화 안 되는 기분
Oh,
느끼는
this
거
is the
오랜만이야.
worst. This is the absolute worst. It's making me real queasy. Ugh.
이보게들 꺼내줘야지 않겠소? 살아있잖소.
Hark, mine friends, this man is alive! We must free him from his bond, post haste!
그러고 싶어도 이미 늦은 것 같기도 하네요.
Even if we wanted to, it looks like it's a bit late for him.
잘라내지 않고서 꺼내놓을
Yeah,
방법이
total
있나
disassembly.
싶은데.
Total disassembly is the only way I see it getting out of there. Huh. Wonder why she didn't say like TD or something. She actually explained what she wanted to say for once instead of acronyming it. Very interesting.
한두 번 보는 경험도 아니지 이제는.
By now we should be getting used to these failures.
단단히 벽에 박혀 있다. 일반적인 힘으로는 분리조차도 어렵다.
The body is firmly lodged in the walls. No ordinary human strength could separate his body from it.
하지만 일반적이지 않은 힘으로는 반드시 이들의 형체가 부서진다.
With superhuman strength, you risk tearing the body to several parts.
무사할 수 없는 악의 소행이로군.
This is an evil that cannot go unanswered.
억지로 쑤셔넣은 흔적은 없어 보이는데.
Impressive. There's no sign of anyone forcing it into the walls.
아주 자연스럽게 전시되어 있군. 원래 이렇게 태어났던 것처럼 말이지.
This is quite a natural exhibition, as though this were how it conceived from the very beginning.
이번에야말로 구할 수 있을 거라고
We thought
약속까지
it would be different this time. We made a promise, gave our word. Unlike the other sinners, Ishmael didn't even spare a glance to those that were trapped within the walls.
관리자님, 저것들을 쳐다보고 있다고 황금 가지가 나타나는 것도 아닌데 전진하자고 말씀 좀 하시죠.
Manager, staring at them won't magically summon the golden bow-to-your bombs. Say something so we can get a move on. I guess there's nothing we can do for them. Still,
저는 누누이 말했어요. 쓸데없이 시간을 쏟고 싶지
and I've said
않다고.
repeatedly that I don't want to waste time.
이곳에선 호수의 규칙을 신경 쓰지 않아도 될 텐데. 좀더
We don't have to worry about the laws of the lake here, so why don't we make this a more leisurely...
둘러봐도 역시 아무도 없는 게 확실할 테니까요.
Sure, look around all you want. You won't find any survivors here.
여기 있지 않은가?
The testament against that claim is right here!
살아있는 척하는 것들이잖아요.
Those things aren't really alive. They're only pretending to be. Yeah, like the substance is like going to possess the corpse, assumably in some form. Yet,
이건 아무리 봐도 그것이고 그것이 지나간 자리에 멀쩡한 사람이 있을 리 없고.
I recognize these. The ruin left behind by the thing that leaves nothing unchanged in its wake.
그것은 순식간에 모든 걸 집어삼키기도 하지만
It could swallow the world in the blink of an eye, but it also spews it out back just as quickly.
그리고 그렇게 토해내는 것은
And what it spews out never comes back
온전한
right.
형태가 될 수 없다고.
Yep. Moby Dick it is. What does this have to do with U-Corp singularity, though? There's definitely some U-Corp intervention. I didn't mean to click, whoops.
그렇게 뱉어낼 거라면
Isn't it funny? If it's going to spew it out anyways, what's the point of devouring it in the first place?
눈에 마주하는 온갖 것을 다 삼키려고 하는지조차 모르겠어.
I don't understand. Why does it try to devour everything it comes across? Are you talking about that same whale you mentioned before?
그 어떤 모험담에도
That's a yes.
그런 어마무시한 고래에 대한 이야기는 없었어. 정말 고래가 맞는가?
In no tales of adventure have I heard of one mention such a terrifying whale. Is it truly a whale?
그러게 준비가 더 필요하다고 말할 때 듣지 그랬어요. 적어도 마음가짐이라도 달리 먹었을 텐데.
Why didn't you listen when I told all of you that we weren't ready? If you did, at least we could have been in the right headspace for the lake. But no. So you're saying that whale you met devoured this building?
네,
Yes. How can you be so sure of that?
그 고래가 지나온 모든 길은 지금처럼 하얀 모습으로 뒤덮이니까요.
Because this pale ruin is what that whale leaves behind. Everything turns pallid, like this building. Ugh. Ugh. Me. Ugh.
거수자 발견.
A visual on a suspicious individual.
환상체일까요? 여기가 로보토미 지부인
Maybe it's an abnormality. We're in a lobotomy court branch after all.
그래. 차라리 환상체라고 생각하고 다 썰어버리는 게
Yeah,
낫겠다.
let's just say that's what it is and chop it down.
잠깐만요. 생존자일 수도
Wait,
있어요.
wait a minute. That might be a survivor.
뭐지? 이 안에 인간은 남아 있을 리 없다 하지 않았나?
Well, didn't you say that there won't be any survivors left here? Which is it?
그래서 더 놀라워서 그래요.
I did, and that's why it's so incredible. Oi! Hey! Ishmael, you shouldn't get so close to... Ishmael strides towards the figure. Siren, question mark?
씨가 뭔가 환상체 같은
Maybe she's being mind controlled by an abnormality? No, it's definitely not a siren then. It's definitely just her being insane.
그런 징후는 없었다. 저자의 눈빛은 지극히 평소와 같다.
No such signs have been detected. There is nothing out of the ordinary in her eyes. Ugh. The closer Ishmael gets, the more of the figure's body is taken over by the pallid, off-white membrane. The voice grows increasingly incoherent. Being consumed.
말도 안 돼.
It's impossible. Okay, I wanna look. Okay, no portrait for this. That's interesting. Because it had a portrait, now it doesn't. Okay, interesting. For the in-between stages, no portrait.
방금까지 사람의 말을 하고 있었어요.
Just now, it was talking. Like a human. Ishmael.
봤잖아요. 분명
You saw it too! Just now it... Ishmael, you have to get away from...
이럴 리가 없어. 내가 알고 있는 게
No, this can't be real. If what I've known in my whole life about this place is... about the Great Lake...
지금은 감정의 동요가 발생했다.
She is experiencing heightened emotions. Thank you, Merceau. Ishmael! I could have asked one of the sinners to stop her, but before I even realized what I was doing, I was running toward Ishmael. I think it was guilt that pushed me to act. Guilt that I may have played a part in driving Ishmael to this point.
그대가 나서서는
Dante, you mustn't... Oh. But guilt can sometimes help. The figure's face shifted again when I approached Ishmael. The white membrane covering their face begins to withdraw, as though an unforeseen force is peeling it off its skin. The mouth didn't come back, but the eyes that looked at us were unmistakably human-shaped. They were blinking, with effort.
되돌아왔어.
The membrane is gone?
관리자님이 가까이 다가가니까 사라졌어요.
This, when you approached it, this white membrane,
흰색의
it
꼭대기가
faded. What is Dante doing?
황금 가지에 의한 중화작용으로 보이는군요.
It appears that the golden bow is counteracting its effects. Faust approached us.
단테 씨의 머릿속에 있는 그 황금 가지의 조각은 미력할지라도 이 백화 현상을
Dante, it appears that the
효과가
shard of the
있습니다.
golden bow lodged into your clock is counteracting the infection of this palladification effect to a degree. The figure, whose mouth was still wrapped under a pallid membrane, blinks warily, as though they could understand what we were saying.
중화요?
Counteracting? Oh, Ishmael knows the golden bow can counteract this, and therefore could save her crew? I assume the crew's going to show up in some sort of zombified form, assumably in the next update. Maybe? I don't know.
아니, 그럼
Wait, so with the golden bow...
이 인어가 지금 다시 사람으로 돌아올 수 있다고 그런 말을 하는 거죠? 제가 잘 이해했어요? 파우스트 씨?
Mermaid can... A mermaid can turn back into a human? Is that what you're saying? Did I get that right, Faust? I think I have a good guess as to what happened. Ishmael killed most of her crew when they were turned into mermaids, thinking that there was no hope for them. Now that she knows there was hope for them, and therefore she did just kill all of her crewmates. Beyond maybe, like, Pequod and Ahab, assumably.
충분한 검증은 되진 않았지만
Well, that theory has not been properly cross-examined.
가능성만이라도
Just-
말씀해 주세요.
Just tell me if it's possible. Though it was curt, I've never heard such intense desperation in her voice before. You know, she wants it to be possible. But maybe she didn't kill her crew and she just wants a way to revert them. Maybe they're still out there.
네, 적어도 이곳을 먹고 지나갔다고 추정되는 고래의 인어들은
Yes. although it may be limited to mermaids of the whale that presumably devoured this structure. This whale, why would it only be this whale in particular that would be weakened to the golden bow? Oh, the golden bow has to do with cliff off deterrence, doesn't it? Reducing cliff off deterrence on this. Is the white whale an abnormality? Is it somehow an abnormality that escaped the branch somehow? Like, this Lovecourt branch is drilling. Maybe they've got, like, some giant underground facility or something? Like, some giant underground cave or something, and maybe that was contained. It broke out. Now it's one of the horrors in the lake. One of the calamities. I know, that's my only thing, because I'm fairly certain the bow has something to do with cliff off deterrence, which weakens abnormalities. So if the cliff off deterrence is weakening the hold the membrane has, then that could make perfect sense. Manager, Dante, just what are you? Keeps on throwing me off because it looks like she's got an eye in her hair. I know it's just the membrane and how it looks, but it keeps on looking like she's got like a mimicry type eye just peeking out through her hair. Ooh. My first theory was right. There's something that she could have done. She killed all her crewmates thinking that there was no way to save them, but there was. Realizing that there was something I could have done. The memories of that day. The nightmare that I tried so hard to lock away. They're coming back right before my eyes, and Dante might see them here? I can see them, vomited from that whale, sinking, floating in the briny sea. All of them. Ishmael looked at me with a vacant expression. You hear it too, don't you? Oh no. You better not be hearing voices. Okay, good, okay. That's such a scary line to say. You hear that too, don't you? Because that's very Carmen-like. Okay. That seems like it's not the case, though. That's good. That's really good. You hear how the waves roared that day? Ishmael was right. Emotions of the past began flooding, roaring before me. Ishmael. He stands alone in a sea of tall, rolling waves. I nodded carefully. Ooh, lore time. Once I was a seafarer. A fixer. A sailor. There was something in that awkward middle ground, which we called whalers. Do you understand? No. Do you see them? Do you see the looks on the face of those who dared to wager everything, and those who had nothing left to wager? Whaling ships carry people like them across the waves. So, you've seen it yourself? The whale that devoured this place. Ooh. It's hard to see here, but you can see the PEQ, Pequod, which was the name of the ship from Moby Dick. Yeah. The whales we've met so far transformed those they devour into something completely different, into something utterly unrecognizable from who they were before by rearranging and replacing their whole body. But that whale is different. Those devoured by the pallid whale aren't transformed. They're still themselves, just wrapped in a pale membrane. Pallid whale, okay. That's what we're calling Moby Dick then, not white whale. Fair enough. It's an interesting term name, pale. The usage of the word pale is always a worrying thing in this series. I guess it's a stretch to say that they're still themselves. Sometimes we'd sail our ship towards the outskirts. There, we'd see those ships. Those false ships. The ships that have turned completely pallid. It's an old wisdom among whalers that those ships must be avoided at all costs, even if it meant going all the way around the lake they're in. Like, I know nothing there and like mimicking things isn't like a very unique concept, but I just can't help but just think of nothing there. You've already gotten so much nothing there indirectly in Limbus through stuff like the everything there of an Inquisitors and like KQE potentially being related to nothing there. I don't know.
그 배는 원래 타고 있던 선원이 가지고 있던 습성이나 능력은 바뀌지 않은 채
Because the whalers consumed by that because the sailors consumed by that whale retain everything. Their habits, their skills.
호수를 돌아다니는 da른 것들을 습격하는 것이
If they want to the lake only to attack everything they come across.
피쿼드호의 선장이었던 자가 있어요.
Captain of the Pequod, our ship.
그자의 목표가 그거였죠. 자기 손으로
We had a mission to hunt that pallid whale with our own two hands. Ahab, I assume.
그자는 그 고래를 잡아내는 것이 얼마나 가치 있고 대단한 일인지.
The entire time we sailed on the Pequod, she sermonized her ears off about what a worthy, honorable mission it was to hunt that whale. Okay, was Ishmael? I thought Ishmael was the captain in the story, but Ahab was just no. I guess Ahab might have been. I still haven't read Moby Dick. I really need to though. Good to know. Ahab's the captain, presumably, and was very concerned with killing it. It was annoying, and we knew that she wasn't exactly all there, but
아니지. 어쩌면 우리를 미치게 하는 방법.
no, maybe she just knew how to sink the rest of us to the depths of her insanity.
어느새 우리도 그 창백한 고래를 잡는 것만이 인생의 유일한 구원이자.
Our mission soon became our very own. To hunt that pallid whale became our salvation, our destiny.
배 안에 모두를 미쳐버리게 만든 거예요.
That captain drove everyone on the ship mad.
결국 우리는 미움과 모든 악을 뿜어낸다는 그 고래를 마주하게 되었고.
When the time finally came to face that whale, the whale from which all hatred, all evils of this world spout. That's interesting. There is no eye, and it's covered in a lot of scratches, assumably from a lot of fights it's had. Or, no, those are ships, aren't they? Is it? I can't tell. Are those scratch marks, or is it ships that are, like, partially visible? I don't know. These look weird, these little... It's something like that. I don't know. But we saw in the other image of the whale, its eye was very noticeable, very horrifying. The fact there's no eye there is very interesting. Looks like it's got a lot of injuries coming from the eye, though, so maybe they took out the eye or something. We were promptly crushed, devoured, reduced to a scattered pile of driftwood.
차가운 물속에서 나무 토막을 부여잡고서야 제정신이 돌아왔을 때 눈앞에는
When I came to, floating in the vast coldness of the sea, holding out my dear life to a piece of driftwood, there was nothing left. Nothing. Like nothing there.
붙잡고 있던 것이 그저 나무 토막이 아니었다는 걸 깨닫고서야.
And when I realized what I was holding onto wasn't a piece of driftwood, but I know in the book it was, I think, the coffin of... Like, it was a hearse, yeah, it was like the coffin from Pequod.
그래서 용서가 되지 않아.
That's why I can never forgive her. Okay, definitely related to Pequod or something. Like, Pequod seems alive. So maybe not the coffin of Pequod. Is it something else in this story? What could she have been holding on to that was, traumatizing to her? Is there another person we don't know about beyond just Ahab and Pequod? There could be. I still don't know much about Moby Dick. At a certain point, this stopped being a conversation. Ishmael's words grew increasingly aimless, like a vortex of the sea, endlessly whirling in place. Now, it was clear what Ishmael's mission was, where the tip of a razor-sharp harpoon aimed. It was aimed at the captain that drove them all to damnation. An overwhelming tide of hatred and obsession burned fiercely in her direction. Yep.
내 손으로
I'm going to kill her,
죽여야만 해요.
with my own two hands. There was no room for reason or rationality to convince her otherwise. I suppose bringing up that I saw from Ishmael's obsession, a glimpse of her old captain, won't do anything to help right now. Ishmael, we don't even know if that captain is still alive.
내가 모든 걸 나누었던 동료의 관짝을 붙잡고 살아남아 버렸을 때
I was desperately hanging onto my best mate's coffin, Pequod, The coffin of someone with whom I'd shared everything. That's when I, through the tempest, saw the captain.
마지막까지 그 새끼는 먹혀가는 배 안에서 혼자 그것과
I saw that
웃고
standing
있었어.
alone, facing down the whales that devoured her ship, laughing mad.
그렇게 목숨 바쳐 따르던 선원들은 바다와 외곽 위를 떠다니며 먹혀갔는데 한중에도 없었지.
Her fiercely loyal crew were floating on the surface of the outskirts sea, powerless to do anything but wait until they too were devoured. But none of that mattered to her.
살아있어요.
She's alive.
살아있을 수밖에 없어. 살아있어야
She has to
해.
be alive still. She has to be.
그러니까 찾아야
So,
해.
I have to find her.
우리는 그 선장을 죽일 때까지
We have to. Not before
절대로.
we kill the captain. Ishmael. I wanted to ask her which we she was referring to, but I was starting to think that nothing I say would improve anything if it didn't outright bring everything crashing down. That was when an imperceptibly light breeze broke through the silence. A solitary butterfly. It moved with grace, tingled with fragility, as though it did not fear that weight of this heavy silence. It took a moment to gently flutter onto a puddle.
나비네요.
That is a butterfly. Is that an abnormality?
보통의 나비가 이런 곳을 날아다니고 있을 거라고 생각하나?
You think any ordinary butterfly would wander into a place like this? After a quick respite, the butterfly fluttered its wings and took off once again.
마치 따라오라는 것 같아요.
It's like the butterfly is asking us to follow.
큰 성체가 코빼기도 안 보이더니 드디어 나타난 건가?
Is it an abnormality? Finally, I was wondering when they'd show their ugly mugs. It might be a trap, but we're lost. It's the only thing with any sense of direction we have at the moment.
찬성하겠어.
I am in agreement.
나 개인에게도 궁금함이 생겨.
I am also quite intrigued by the butterfly. Agent's still here.
계속 무슨 말을 하는 걸까요?
What do you think they are saying?
뭐라 하고 있지는 않았어. 네, 듣고
I have been lending them my ear, yet none has yet to reach me.
일정한 규칙성을 띠고 있긴 하지만 해석은 불가능하군요.
They are speaking in a certain pattern, though I am unable to decipher it.
일종의 부호 같은 느낌이죠. 음파와 암호 패턴의 체계를 활용하고
It is a code of sorts, a mix of sound frequencies and encryption patterns. Don Quixote was at the far back end of the line, looking back at the figure.
정녕 관리자 나리와 꼭 붙어 있지 않으면 해결되지 않을 일이었던가 보네.
I suppose it is true that without Manager Esquire, there could be no resolution to thy predicament. When I walked away, the pallid membrane grew over the face again, burying it. And it began to shamble. Is it as Ishmael said, will they now roam the Great Lake, attacking everyone and everything they come across? Not only their physical senses, but also their sense of self, forgotten deep underneath the pallid membrane. Ooh. Now it's fight time. That was a long cutscene, but a good one too.
여기다가 말하면 녹음되는 건가요?
Ominous music,
힘내세요.
cool background. Palified thing, hook, palified thing, pirate. Okay. There's two things in here. The palified thing, hook, thing, pirate. They're assumably, they look near identical. They might have like minor differences. Pallid noise. Okay, let's take a look. Passive first. Gain 2 offense level and defense level for every living palified ally, not counting this unit. Okay, so they gain 8 offense level and 8 defense level right now. At 10% of max HP, inflict 10%, or at 10% of max HP, inflict 20 SP damage on hit, inflict 1 pallid noise next turn, then dies. Okay, so when they're low HP, they will explode. That's like below 11 HP though, so it's not going to be too big of a deal. And they need to actually hit. Pallid noise, SP loss efficiency plus 2. If at less than or equal to negative 45 SP and inflicted with this buff, gain noise panic next turn. Turn end reduces effect by 1. Okay, so it makes you lose more SP from every source. SP loss efficiently exists ever so slightly. Like, I believe your... What is cast passive? Yeah, -1 SP loss efficiency, plus 1 SP heal efficiency. And it's also on stuff like representation emitter. It just means anything that will cause you to lose sanity loses more. That's also Morse code. Let's see. If this unit deals out the final blow, apply 1 protection and 2 defense level up to all allies. Okay. Simple enough. And I assume the pirates are similar enough. Yeah. They might have slightly different skills. Yeah, this is Morse code. I don't know Morse code, unfortunately, so I cannot tell you what this is. If target target loses 1 SP for every other surviving ally. Bleed count, bleed, 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 pallet noise, pallet noise. Check with the unit's shield, inflict 1 pallet noise to the target turn, and if the unit has shield, gain 3 poise next turn. Okay, that's how the pirates work, and then the hooks similar enough, I presume. Okay, so the pirates are bleed focused. These ones are more debuff focused, I think, and buff focused, inflicting some bind, some paralyze, some damage down. Gain protection for every surviving ally on use. Gain even more protection on hit. Yeah, okay. Unfortunately, they look near identical. The only difference is the bandana versus the hair being the top part. All right. And it is still, these aren't abnormalities, so we fight normal way. Ugh. Don't like that. That's unfortunate. We gotta clash the best we can here, though. You should probably just defend, I guess. You won't take too much damage. You'll take the pallet noise. You'll take some bleed. Hopefully that's fine. Oh, that's an unfortunate tails on Mutilate. And the music is very ominous. We're losing more clashes. That's how it is first turn, I know, but still unfortunate. Okay, but no one actually has any of the pallet noise this turn, because it decreases by 1 every turn. So unless they inflict more than 1 at a time, we should be fine. And it's 2 waves, makes sense. I think roll a 20 for its defense. Yeah, makes sense. I was like, why did that thing roll a 20 first? But it's just defense. It's nothing that scary. Oh, you get a bunch of white noise here. That's unfortunate. Because now we've got a few people with white noise now. The music leveled up as well. We just keep on attacking normally. Just keep on saving the envious skills. They'll get their use in time. Okay, it would be really nice if, you know, you got a couple heads, Murso. Kinda need them. We should just go for Envy right now. Honestly, yeah. Just get our damage up. It'll be worth it. Yeah, like, we're getting a bunch of damage and power up, and still getting a lot of tails even though she's at 30 sanity. Yeah. In main story, sanity-focused enemies are such a hassle, because you already started 0 sanity in normal fights. So it's just even more annoying. Oh yeah, here's the ones these are the guys we saw in the trailer. Pallid White Mermaid. Okay, these two are the first ones. Spreading Flames. The surviving Paladin in its turn is all enemies with 20 or more SP lose 1 SP for every surviving palified ally, not counting this unit. Okay, so everyone's gonna lose 4 SP per mermaid alive, but okay, so high sandy is not gonna last for long. Simple enough. And then, like, Paladin Noise, final power plus 1 for heal by 40%. Copy one of the buffs currently applied to the target, heal by 40% damage buff. Okay. A little interesting. They're also negative coins, so that's really unfortunate for us. Luckily, these things do not have sandy, even though these things do, but these ones don't, because they're, like, more monstrous, I suppose. Okay, do we... don't really think we can get too much envy going this turn. No, we could. We very much could. We just have to start with here. You'd need to counter... You probably want to counter one of these guys. Probably this one. Just maximize damage a little bit. Assuming this attack isn't too bad. I don't kind of want to be hit by that one. Yeah, we'll counter you then. Okay. This will work pretty well. Getting our envy chain going. Dawn's envy damage is being buffed by Murso. That'll be pretty nice. Actually, I didn't look at their weaknesses. What are these guys weak to? I probably should have checked that already, but it's kind of slipped my mind. You're getting a lot of nails, though, so that's good. You're dead, though, so that's good.
칼날이 잘 드네요.
Ooh.
아마 그 공격이
Yeah, look at those attacks. That's cool.
단테님 봤어요?
Yeah, just vengeance. Get your revenge on this thing. He instantly dies. Yeah, nice. That's a counter attack. That's insane. It requires a really high yeah, a very high envy resonance. You need a 3 envy absolute resonance to actually trigger that effect, but it is very much worth it. Jeez. I probably will if I remember, I'll drop Rodion 4 base Heathcliff at some point, though. Just for a little bit more variety, a little bit more of the gimmick in our team. Also, maybe we should consider not even bothering trying to get the egos to work, since we cannot fund them reasonably at all. There they all go down, though. Some interesting stuff, that's for sure. You did the most, yeah. Checks out. The lake and the butterfly. Also, there's a hallway up here, that's interesting. Wonder if we're gonna go up that hallway. We follow the mysterious butterfly deeper into the Lawanicore branch. A man with a flowing head was waiting for us in there. A flowing head. That's interesting. What comes to mind would be something like shoots or fry shoots. But maybe it means more so, because like, I'm thinking like flowing flames though. Maybe flowing water head? I don't know if this really matches any avenues we've seen beyond something like that. Very interesting. Well, let's take a look. Ugh. What a freaky loading screen. Abnos first. Ooh, or not Abnos first. Fight first. Some of these palified thing shields are here now, which are the LCCBU guys. Defense level 1+1 for every surviving ally. On top of this one. In one fragile next turn if any dies. Okay. So we kill its allies and then it gets damaged. What do you have for skills? Tremor. Protect from another ally next turn. Burst, tremor, reduce tremor count, inflict pallet noise. Inflict 10 rupture and 4 rupture count. That is a scary skill. Okay, yeah. We cannot let that win. Yeah, like, you're going for this right now, so Honglu needs to be a little careful here. You go for the envy resonance here. This is a little scary. I'm willing to go for it, though. Yeah, Honglu won. God, so much envy. Really glad we're starting to get a little more benefits to actually building around specific sins. So I think that's cool. Really, Resonance does so little right now. It's really not worth it most of the time. Because of how little it actually like adds for you. It's a relatively minor amount of it's a minor amount of like offense level up unless you get like a really big chain off. And if you get a really big chain off, chances are you're just using a lot of skill 1s, which isn't the highest damage output you could have. You'd be better off doing some like skill 2s and stuff. Also, because we killed an ally, all the shield you guys are getting fragility next turn. That's good. Yeah, okay, we killed the mermaid, so now we just have the LCCB guys left. And we've got a very little amount of envy right now. It happens. Just gotta hope we do fine here. We don't want to get the 40 damage for the rupture on any of our allies. Especially not our allies who are, you know, going to be countering sooner or later. They'd kind of not like that. Nice. We remember. We sure do. It is interesting how the white whale still has mermaids, despite it seems to not. It seems to only parasitize people into like these like versions of themselves that look mostly normal, just covered in the membrane. But it also has mermaids though, which is very interesting. Perhaps like if these people were to stay within the membrane for long enough, they'd become mermaided. Then again, that would be strange though. I feel like a big power of the pallid whale is the fact that it actually it doesn't turn things into mermaids. The fact that it has mermaids is interesting. It's very interesting. But what does it mean? Took a couple turns with that wave, that's fine. These guys are semi-tanky.
적사살 좋아.
Ooh, Pal thing club. Okay, luckily it's not like shotgun LCCB units, just the club ones. Defense level down, damage up to random allies. Okay, so you buff allies and reduce defense level. What's your other passives? Offense level for every surviving ally can not attack hard out if another ally does. Okay. A lot of different passives on a lot of these guys, but it really doesn't make that big of a difference. And we really should have replaced you with Heathcliff. Heathcliff would have been much more useful than Rodion right now, because we can't actually get your funny ability going. So we're just going to go for a lot of non-bride stuff this turn. Or non-envy stuff this turn. Don't like that. Don't really have much else you can do. We can have you counter, I guess. Defense level down. Damage up to a random palified enemy next turn. And ally next turn. I think this is fine.
직접 알게 함이라.
I'm not too concerned. If Ishmael takes some damage, well, she's very likely to be staggered because she's a she unit, so, you know, her stagger threshold is very close. But it should be mostly fine. God, that attack's so funny. Just seeing these guys, like, doing the, like, little swimming motion. I think in the trailer I probably saw, like, the pallid membrane and, like, was like, ah, yes, this is, this must be the water they're standing on. Or maybe there's going to be something else later. Maybe there's going to be a room that's actually, like, fully covered in the membrane. Definitely would check out. Yeah. Counter this guy. We can't get the resonance because of you once again. Ugh. That's lame. I still go for it, mostly. Something like that. The only reason why I thought Rodion would be good is because, like, we want to get hit a fair bit of times to actually get, like, some buffs going for Dawn. And to make sure that they got their vengeance marks off, but, like, really not helping that much in the long run. Nice, some envy for Julia and that guy, because we got lucky enough to be able to use this skill 3 on someone who's been marked. Okay, this turn we can get the envy resonance going. There we go. This guy's gonna get staggered before we get to counter. That's unfortunate, but, oh well. I don't know if I've been seen or if I hear very faint whale noises in the music. No, there's definitely whale noises. I don't know how I didn't notice that until just now. That's the kind of thing you really think I would have noticed. God. Very me moment. And it's just you left. There's, oh god, we've got a lot of skills on the dashboard right now. Down you go. There's our victory. Probably change the identities we don't have on the team to actually fit, like, passive. That would be good for us, but I don't think it'll matter too much.
점점 인어들의 숫자가 적어지고
The
있어.
mermaids. I think there's less of them now. Someone stood there waiting for us. He must have arrived here much earlier than we have. Oh, is it Captain Hook? Quite the arduous journey you've endured. The butterfly we were following folded its wings and settled gently into his sloshing head. Ooh. Oh, wait a second. Is this the we might have an ego gift for this abnormality, assuming this is an abnormality. And not like a distortion or something. Because, the clear mirror, calm water, whatever it's called. Clear water, calm water, clear mirror. Whatever, it's the tier 4 poise gift. Might have something to do with this guy, perhaps? The figure's voice was clear and precise, unlike that of the mermaids. And not like an abnormality.
멀쩡한 생존자는 없을 거라고 했는데.
I didn't expect to find any unharmed survivors. No, wait. Is he a distortion? Oh yeah, he's a distortion. That makes sense. Possibly. How is he here, though?
친구야?
Wait, Blockhead, you friends with that bullhead.
뒤틀림이면 똘붕이네 닭집 사장 같은
A
존재.
distortion, like that Bing Bong's bar and Friars owner from earlier? How rude to you, Bongs.
놀람이 많고요.
I see that many of you are rather flummoxed by my appearance.
이건 세상을 받아들이는 방법 중 하나일 뿐입니다.
This is but one of the many ways one may choose to understand the journey that is the world.
소스라칠 이유가 되진 않겠소만.
So, please do not be so wary.
오, 머리가
Oh, thy head splishes and splashes so.
별이까진 하늘하에서 언젠가 맞이할 그날을 기다리고 있는
Under the night sky where the stars have gone out, I await the coming dawn.
림이라 불러줘.
Call me Rim.
통성명할 생각은 없으니 질문만 하도록 하지.
We're not here to introduce ourselves, so why don't we cut to the chase?
이곳에 온 이유를 대라. 미친 인어들만 존재하는 이곳에 뚜렷한
Explain
이유 없이 온
yourself.
것은
You must have some
아니겠지.
reason for coming to this mad mermaid-infested place.
분명 시추선에 정박해 있는 건 우리가 타고 온 보트 단 한 척뿐이었다.
And we didn't see any other boat than our own by the docks of the structure. So explain how you...
바다를 건너려고 한다면 배는 필요 없다네.
I have no need of ships should I wish to cross the ocean.
이것은 순전히 그대들을 보기 위한 것이.
I am simply here to have a look at all of you. What is this guy? This isn't one of the, Damien guides. Surely not. That's Damien's background. That's the exact background Damien uses, I'm fairly certain. That, like, gradient of, like, blue to purplish. Not a good sign. And he's wearing blue, of course. He's got his brain and a butterfly and an hourglass inside of the... Really interesting design. They've got a suit that's blue. Classic Project Moon suit. Huh.
우와, 인기가 많아진 기분인걸요?
Wow, we're really starting to put our name out there.
그들은 가지의 황금빛이 비추는 곳을 향하는
You are those who follow the bow's golden ray.
그걸 알면서 우리를 보러 왔다는 건
Okay, if you're here to see us and knowing what we're looking
설마
for...
그거야? 우리에게 황금 가지가 어디 있는지를
No way, are you about to
알려주겠다니.
tell us where the golden bow is?
아니, 딱 봐도 그걸 방해하려고 왔다는 게 더 맞는 거.
Isn't it obvious that he's here to stop us from...
맞소.
Yes, indeed I am.
왜 이러지?
Man, I'm really off my game. Gregor never gets anything right. It's what he does.
가지를 이 건물 안에서 찾으려고 한다면 그저 시간의 무용함만 깨닫게 될 것이오.
To seek the bow within this structure is to understand the futility of time. I still can't sense the golden bow this deep into the branch. There was truth to what he said. The bow was no longer here.
그렇다면 어디로 가야 한다는 것인가?
가지에 이끌리는 게 비단 그대들뿐이 아니라는 건 진작에 겪었겠소.
I am certain that you are already aware that there are parties other than your own that are interested in the bows. I keep mixing between bows and bows. I'm pretty sure bow is how you pronounce it correctly, but I always say bow instinctively, but I might be wrong on that. Interesting though. My guess is it's in the whale somehow, and that Ahab's also in the whale somehow. Is Queequeg alive or dead? Because Ishmael was in her hearse, but also seems to be still wanted by the middle? Question mark. So it's very possible she's alive in a pallid state, in a solidified state, as the game's calling it.
심지어 겨우 얻은 하나를 빼앗기기도 하였지.
You've surrendered one to them after toiling for it, in fact. Okay, so confirmation we're talking about the Gubo gang, the Herman's gang. I say Gubo instinctively because that's what I assumed it would be, you know, before the game actually released, but it's more likely Herman's the leader. Since, you know, Herman is like the director of N-Corp right now. It's the N-Corp gang. Yeah. So far we know it's Herman, Gubo, and Jahuan. So Gregor's antagonist, his mom. Yi Sung's antagonist, his compatriot, and Hong Lu's brother. Jahuan.
어떻게 그것까지 아는
How
거죠?
do you know that?
본래는 외곽만을 떠돌아야 할 고래도 그 영롱한 눈부심을 오롯이 느끼고 있지.
The whale, once fated to roam the outskirts for all eternity, is now drawn by that same incandescent, gilded calling. Okay, roaming the outskirts all eternity. Interesting. So it was never supposed to be in the city, but somehow it is now. The head's not doing anything about it, so it wasn't banished, it just kinda... Unless it was. But surely they'd send, like, arbiters or something to, like, deal with the whale if it was supposed to be in the outskirts still.
황금 가지로
And it
인해
wants the bow.
외곽에 있어야 했던 그 고래가 둥지 안에 이 유사 호수까지 왔다는 말인가?
You're saying that the whale came from the outskirts all the way to the Great Lake of Uport for the Golden Bow?
틀림없이. 그리고 이 건물의
Quite, and structured this Swallowed the structure whole with that delicate bow, so yeah, it isn't within the
위로
whale.
높은 상체들도 그 이끌림에 몸을 맡겨 웅대하고도 가늘은 고래와
The abnormalities here have also left with that magnificent yet fragile whale, drawn by that self-same calling. So the dungeon is in fact going to be within the whale. I think I've joked about it before. I think a lot of people have joked about it before, like like a Pinocchio type like whale. You got like you're inside of it for some reason.
그러니
Interesting.
자네들이 쫓는 것은
What you seek is no longer to be found here.
그런 정보를 왜 저희에게 알려주시는 걸까요?
Excuse me, why are you sharing this information with us?
황금 가지가 누구의 손에 들어가든 그 쓰임이 어떻게 되든
It matters not who lays claim upon the golden bough, or to what end they use it. It is no more than a mere fluttering of wings.
우린 단지 그 날갯짓의 울림을 좀 더 나은 방향으로 이끄는 것이
We simply seek to steer the echoes of that fluttering towards a better direction. Very Damien.
우리? 누굴
Yeah, we-
말하는 거지?
Very Damien good. Wait, who are you talking about?
모든 걸 지켜보며 때를 기다리는 별의 주인들 자들이요.
We are those who watch all, those who bide the time, those who are sovereigns of a star. That's a less Damien coded, but sovereigns of a star. What is the star? We know that is part of Dante's motives to find their star. But what does this mean?
동시에 모두가 같은 별이 될 수 없는
Yet we are those who cannot all embody the same star. A red mark briefly flashed on his head. Okay, yep, Damien. That's Mark of Cain. So we know Damien, Sonia, and Rim now are part of the Damien gang. Interesting though, because Rim, as far as I know, isn't an antagonist of any of the sinners. Rim is not something from any of them. So this is... I don't know though, we'll have to see. What could this be? Definitely fits Damien's gang being, you know, only vaguely humanoid with a non-human head. That's definitely what like the silhouettes look like. I've seen that mark before. Oh. Sinclair also has the mark of Cain though, so... Not everyone with the mark Cain needs to be antagonist. It's very possible some of the other sinners could also possibly wear it. I don't know. I don't really think so though, maybe not.
지켜본다라.
Those who watch, you say. Yisung shot a silent gaze in Rim's direction.
림,
Rim.
그렇다면 그대는 구인회의 끝에 대해서도 알고 있는가? 과거의 벗들이
Have you also watched the breaking of the League then? Have you any idea of what fate has befallen our old fellows?
알고 있어.
I do.
그 또한 지켜보기만 하였는가?
Oh! Oh. I forgot. Yeah, Rim was part of the League. Yeah. That is right. That completely slipped my mind. But no, there was someone named Rim, yeah. Yeah, if we look at if I look up like the League of Nine literatures, one of them was named Rim, right? Are they? I don't know. I might be imagining that, but one of them might be Rim.
이상 씨, 혹시 당신의 옛 친구
See, one of your old
하나인가요?
friends, Yusang.
그대들도 잠시 겪었던 면면이요.
A part of my life you have witnessed before.
구인회가 분열될 때 뿔뿔이 흩어졌던 이들
One of
중에
those who left the League of Nine scattered into the winds. I did think it was a Korean-sounding name, but I didn't immediately make the connection that he'd be part of the League of Nine. I see. Good to know. Another League of Nine member located. So we now know quite a few of them. We know Young Ji is going to be important sooner or later. We know Dong Bak and Dong Brang are dead. Yisung's part of the Sinners. And of course, Gubo is with N-Corp now. That leaves Young Ji's unaccounted for and a couple others. Interesting. We'll see how important they play. I definitely do think Yisung's book is going to be very prevalent. Yisung's and Sinclair's books are going to be very prevalent through the entire story, that's for sure.
내게는 바다로 간다 이야기하여 놓고
You had last uttered to me that you would journey to the ocean, yet.
나는 한때 그중 하나인데
Indeed, I was one of them, once.
대답해 주겠네, 이상. 내가 지켜보기만 하였는가?
I shall answer your question, Yisung. You ask whether I've done naught but watch?
그것은 오문이요.
That is a question born of vacuity.
자네는 부인회가 끝장이 났다 하였으나 그것은 누군가에게 또한 시작이었어.
For you, the League is dead. Yet, for some, its death was but a beginning.
자네가 가자면 잘할 텐데.
I am certain that you are well aware of that yourself.
그 상태가 끝인가 시작인가 그것을 객관하여 정해놓는다면
When does something end? When does something begin? The distinction is arbitrary and signifies not. Yep,
깨짐은
that makes perfect nonsense, which is very fitting for a distortion like you. The shattering of the league was a beginning for Brother Youngji as well. Is he also with Damien King, then? Or is he doing something else entirely?
그래. 그대는 일찌감치
I
내가
see.
버렸다는
You've
것이지.
cast it aside long time ago.
세상의 줄기를 볼 수 있게 된 걸세.
My eyes were simply open to the stem of this world.
간결하고 중요한 단 하나의 줄기.
The singular yet all-important stem.
그것만 느낄 수 있게 된다면 그 외의 것들은
Once your eyes are open to it, everything else becomes
바와 같이
as hollow as the fall of wilted petals.
이거 하나만 대답해 주세요.
I just need to know one thing. Is Queequeg there
당신의
too?
말대로
No,
이곳에
okay.
삼킨 고래가 황금 가지를 먹었다면 그리고
If the golden bow is inside the whale that devoured this place, and if the golden bows can really
백화 현상을
somehow
들어주는 게 맞다면
counteract the palidification effects. Ishmael's breathing was quick and light. She couldn't finish her sentence.
당신이 생각하고 바라보는 것이 옳다겠어.
It can be said that indeed, what you believe, what you wish to be true, is correct.
그렇군요.
I see.
이전표는 이쯤이면 되었겠지.
I hope I have been a useful signpost to you all.
또 어디론가 다름하는가?
So where do you seek to depart again?
그때는 바다와 강과 도시가 어디에 있는지만 알고 꼬여
I was once a mere pawn who only knew where the sea, the rivers, and the city were.
지금은 직접 내
Now I seek to reach there with my wings.
그뿐이요.
That is all.
잠깐. 그런 정보를 아는 놈을 호락호락 보내줄 것 같은가?
Stop right there. You know too much. Think we're about to just let you leave just like that?
유감이요. 지금은 손에
Pity.
움켜쥐어
Try as you might to hold me now, I flow betwixt your fingers.
짜자.
Well then. With that, he stepped into the puddle and disappeared into its depths. Okay, so he's very water themed. He's a water themed distortion. A lot of weird words. It's definitely really hard to process everything that just happened there. Oh, here's this picture but in color as well. That's cool. Because that was a lot of information at once. This has been a very lore-heavy episode, that's for sure. And looks like we're climbing up the stairs before we keep on heading right. The lake and the butterfly too. But of course, that'll be for next time. A lot happened. We finally got confirmation about the existence of Ahab. Ahab was the captain. Ishmael wants Ahab dead, as was suspected. And also, we now know another member of the League, that being Rim, and how their fate was joining that of Damien, and how they know about where Youngji is now, so it's a lot. I'm not sure. But anyways, that'll be all for this time. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.